thinking that because you have a book in your library that you read in seminary, that now you've got that book mastered. I regularly go back to the basics, the basics the basic books and curricula, that I was assigned back at seminary, and go over it again. There's all kinds of stuff that I miss in there. I even highlighted this paragraph, and I missed the better sentence in that paragraph when I was highlighting. I highlighted the wrong side of the paragraph. This is so rich, and I missed it. So actually, just going back through what you learned, but also recognizing, as you guys said, this is the beginning of your education.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm rereading Machen's Christianity and Liberalism, since this is the 100th year celebration of that publishing of that book. But I read that in seminary, and I'm kind of rereading it now, and it's great. I mean, there are certain books I think that just stay with you. They're textbooks that you reread over and over again, just because, and it's incredible just how much you still learn after rereading something.
Yeah, I think that goes back to Paul's point. I like the word you use, Paul, of like it's a trajectory. This is the beginning of your studies, but this is foundational. You go back to that foundational material, and you appreciate it all the more.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that there are things we don't learn in seminary. There are skill sets that you can only learn through the doing of it, but that doesn't mean that those foundational principles weren't useful, and that going back to them can reinforce those skills and are now enriched by your experience, so that you'll highlight a different spot because you realize, not because you were an idiot before, but because you realize that there was more to it. There's more there than I saw.
This is not the arrival point. This is it's the launching pad, right? And there's all kinds of analogies for this. In other areas, if you start working out, you spend the first few years learning method, hopefully, stretches, how to do the exercise right. And then that sets the trajectory for everything that you're going to do later on in life. And in many ways, studying the scripture is a skill. Mm-hmm. You need to learn the skills and learn how to write all these papers that we were just talking about. And you'll get better at writing the papers as you write the papers. But seminary is the staging ground for your lifelong education, Lord willing. And that's what I'd love to see. I'd love to have a student come in from 15 years ago, and he shows me a book he's reading that was printed in the last year, and he's working with it in light of his theological foundations that he got at RTS. And I'm like, I love that. That's just a sign of health, right? Mm-hmm. That you're still growing, you're still taking on material, and growing in your knowledge of Christ.
Yeah, it's that